Hi Cancers, this is Lena. Welcome to Cicalia Botanicals. This is your April 2020 Tarot Horoscope reading. So I went ahead and laid out the cards already for us so we could jump right into the reading today. So this month I've been pulling two cards for every sign for your overall theme card. One from the Divine Feminine Oracle deck and one from a tarot deck, the Deviant Moon Tarot. Now for you, when I was pulling your cards, you actually had two jump out at the same time from the tarot deck. So you actually have three overall cards as your theme this month. Very interesting. This is an interesting time, I think, for everybody, and I'll go over some of the astrological events for everyone as well here in a moment. But I just wanted to say that based on your reading, there is a little bit more of, as Cancer's a more of an emotional complexity most definitely going on beneath the surface, in addition to what everybody is already dealing with. So for your Divine Feminine Oracle card today, we have Zhao Jiaying, the Mystic of Peace. I am peace. When my mind is clear, the way is clear. And then for your other two theme cards, I have the Devil and the Ten of Cups. So we'll talk about what those all together mean in terms of the messages that I've received so far while looking at your reading here for just a moment before hitting record. For April 2020, astrological events affecting everybody. We have on the 3rd, Venus entering Gemini. So Venus being the planet of love, of beauty, of friendships. Gemini is an air sign, very intellectual, very chatty energy, very social actually for an air sign too, very curious. You might find around this time you or others being more curious about what's going on in each other's lives, connecting on more of a mental space with people, mental bonds. But you also may see that people are starting to get a little bit more cabin fever and the need to be a little bit more social and go out and communicate more or find new ways of being social with each other. Or you might just be diving deeper into books or research type projects that you're working on with other people. On April 7th, we have the full moon in Libra. So full moon, so we start the month off with a waxing moon energy, which is personally my favorite type of energy, as it's a great time to build upon things, to grow, to do positive work, right? The waning moon energy can be a little bit more of what's more related to shadow work, which is not always the funnest thing. Or it can be just like letting go of bad habits, also not easy. And being that I see you have the Devil card as a theme for you this month, that might be something to look at for you as well, Cancer. We'll get to that in a moment. But the full moon in Libra, this energy is also an air sign, and this is more about balance, peace, and harmony in relationships. You may find yourself wanting to spend more quality time with good friends or your significant other. You may find yourself more easily prone to making compromises when maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. Seeing things from other people's perspective a little bit more, and just communicating in a more fair and unbiased way. And for you, even Cancer, this actually might be a good full moon for you. I'm feeling for most of you anyways, where it doesn't affect you so profoundly emotionally. Unless you have a lot of underlying stuff going on that you haven't been dealing with, then honestly it could be a lot more difficult. But if you've been doing the work and are more self-aware, Cancer, you will find this full moon might be really quite a nice one for you, Cancers having such a strong connection to the moon. I know you all typically feel the full moon energy more than most. On April 19th, we have the sun moving into Taurus. So this is interesting. So Taurus is an earth sign. It's very nesting, very about being comfy, cozy at home. So we might find ourselves finally, settling in more to being at home a lot and being a lot more comfy at the house and making the house more comfy, taking the time, really settling into these new routines and enjoying these new routines and this new way of living that maybe we might be a little bit resistant to change should this quarantine lift during this time of Taurus energy, which will go until the end of the third week of May. Let's see, also you may find yourself needing more physical exercise, or your energy being more physical than usual, especially less on the spiritual side and more on the physical side, doing things with your hands, your body, getting out, even a little bit less mental, right, which could be really good and great, and where that physical exercise component comes in. On April 22nd, the new moon will also be in Taurus. So this is a time, the Taurus moon energy is typically, can be very sentimental, very romantic, but it can also be very possessive, the dark side of it, and jealous and stubborn. But typically, this new moon energy should produce a lot of feelings of like loyalty, and like staying committed and being committed and in your relationships. It could be romantic, but also friendship, or even professional, right? So maybe around this time, if you've been having doubts about what's going on with your job, will you still have a job? Usually this new moon will probably see, if you've been having those issues, people come through and show their loyalty, especially like if that was always who they were. If they were just unsure for a while about what was going to happen, they're going to come around to that. Now, if someone was a piece of garbage, I don't think that this energy is going to change that by any means. On April 25th, Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn, and Pluto is going to be retrograde until October 4th. So Pluto retrograde, to me, is a profound shadow work period of time. This is something that everybody is going to be feeling, and it's going to be going on for some time. So we have a lot of work to do, a lot of time to do a lot of significant work to help us level up in life and become better humans. And this being in Capricorn, the areas that we're going to be most profoundly affected or dealing with in this retrograde will be in terms of authority, finances, career. You're probably going to deal with some power struggles, but this is also a great time to work on your intuition, and you will probably be feeling it just naturally, like your intuition will be a lot stronger. And if you take the time to be more aware and to have more, presence in the now, you can gain a lot from it and grow from it and use it as a tool in your life if it's something you're not already doing, and how to work more easily and freely and with your intuition to make your life flow better and be better all of the time. So life doesn't feel as much of a struggle when you have more of an insight. Believe me, it's true. More when to let go, more when to push forward, and so on. On April 27th, we have Mercury moving into Taurus. So more Taurus energy, and Mercury is the planet And we always hear about with Mercury retrograde. It's not going to be retrograde, it's still going direct. But Mercury being the planet of communication and transportation and technology. For me here, I'm seeing this more affecting us in terms of communication. Things will be really slow to process, slow to start. So that makes me think, this being April 27th, and right now things standing at being open again, supposedly May 1st, I'm going to be honest that I see, if that does happen, it's going to be very gradual and slow, because Taurus energy is really slow to process things and slow to start, and really likes to go over all of the fine points and be very, very, very practical about everything. So it's going to get down to numbers, and communication across the board is really going to focus on the practical in life for this time forward, until it shifts again. And so Taurus is an earth sign, and you are a water sign. So don't, Taurus communication, okay, can be a little bit, especially for a Cancer, feeling void of emotion because of how practical it can be. So it might rub up against you a little bit in the wrong way at times. Maybe you feel like people aren't being as emotional as or caring as they should be about how they communicate or the decisions that they make pressing on. Just remember that it's the energies going on, and it's not you, and do your best to not take it personal, okay? So then we have your theme cards. So the Mystic of Peace. So I've had this deck for a little bit, and this is the first time I've actually picked this one. So I was very excited to read about Zhao, the Mystic of Peace. She embodies the unwavering tranquility that exists deep beneath the turbulence of our daily thoughts. She was a 12th century Taoist mystic and poet. The night before her son's birth, she had a dream that she was immersed in a red mist. This is a very auspicious sign in Chinese culture. The title given to her as a master was Free Human of Mystic Peace. The emphasis in her poetry was the power inherent in stillness. The secret of the receptive, she writes, must be sought in stillness. The way, or Taoism, is a spiritual practice of clearing the mind so that when we take action, it isn't from the ego, it's from the source of life itself. The pedestal of awareness is steady as a boulder. Zhao taught that meditation allows us to disengage from the surface drama the ego can invite us into. She often refers to the moon in her poetry because this was the symbol of the eternal sky, or the freedom we can reach if we stop looking at the light and shadows the moon casts and see the moon itself. When your soul selects her card, Albert Einstein reportedly said that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Clarity only comes from clarity. There is a peace and calm that exists far beneath the constant banter most of us listen to all day long in our minds. Hungarian author Clarissa Pinkola Estes calls it the river beneath the river. It's the steady flow of the universal life force that wants us to reach our goal if we can only get still enough to merge with it. Wu Wei in Taoism translates as doing nothing. It's a sacred feminine art of trusting the force of life that exists within us all. Zhao mastered this spiritual practice by calming her mind and experiencing the still center that's at the eye of every storm. Zhao is a call for us to be still, to do nothing other than shift our awareness. Come out of the current state of mind we're in before making any moves or decisions. She reminds us that we only want to take action. What is moving us is the force of love at the heart of everything, which for me, this speaks loudly into terms of what we're going through right now, right? and not making decisions based in fear, reactionary decisions based in fear. Soul voice meditation. Enter the heart and ask to experience stillness. Repeat the mantra, I am peace. Intention, I am peace. When my mind is clear, the way is clear. So then you also had, in addition to the Mystic of Peace, which is a beautiful card, that when I drew that card, I saw that as a time, like, this is a great month for you to go and work with some meditation in stilling your mind and your emotions, grounding your emotions. This Taurus energy at the end of the month is a great time to align with that for sure. And working also with your intuition with that Pluto and retrograde energy, pushing forward to allow life to flow more easefully, right? From a place of going with the flow, of trusting the process. I still don't think that means be lazy, though. And then you also have, so the Ten of Cups and the Devil. So the Devil card, I just want to say, for me, and this is, I really like this card usually. So this card, because of, for me, this represents passion, and as an artist and someone that's passionate about a handful of things in life, passion to me is a very important, if not one of the more important aspects of what to me makes life fulfilling, and worth so much of the bullshit that we go through, right? It can cause some of the bullshit for sure, and maybe that's what part of this, Mystic of Peace energy is about, is learning to go with the flow and what to let go of, and what to continue to take with you because it's a part of you, right? The Devil card, though, can represent addiction. And I say this because, because it's true, but also in this time of quarantine, right? I think it's very easy to pick up bad habits, or for bad habits to get worse. So it can be any kind of addiction. I mean, I'm hearing alcohol, but it can be anything you use to self-medicate. It can even, honestly, this is also the obsession card. So if you're having an issue with an unhealthy obsession, this card, sometimes in the Devil card, you'll see a person all bound up, or two people all bound up, and it looks like they're trapped or in prison, but really they're not. They're in a prison of their own making. They can just slip this cord off, right? So it's also, it can be a limiting mindset if you see this card negatively. And it can be, but the reason why I like it is because of the passion that is required to make so many things in life happen, right? To start a business, you probably have to be passionate about it, right? To put in all the energy and the effort day in and day out to make it work and to make it happen. Anything in my life that has been worth the struggles, I have needed that passion to get me through the hard times, or to see through the difficulties, to press forward, to be a better person, or to have that what I really want, and ultimately feel fulfilled. So it's a double-sided card. So the interesting thing is that it comes up with the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is a really, really beautiful energy card. It's feeling very emotionally fulfilled, either spending lots of time with friends or family, and feeling connected and at peace. So putting these three cards together to me says that the theme for you this month would be, I think, centering in yourself to find the peace, but also having the joy of the connection of those around you while you are either pursuing some passion or being mindful of handling some sort of, like, if there's an issue in your life that's very negative, that's what this card is about. Like, if it's obsessive thoughts or an addiction or using some sort of substance to not deal with other things, like, you need to get a hold on that and manage it. Otherwise, I see it in the positive way. I think you should know either way what it is, and pursuing that which fuels you, like, gets your, as a water sign, you're very emotional, right? But this I see is like fiery energy, like the kundalini energy, and what ignites you to get going in your life. What are you passionate? What do you really want to be doing? And how can you take this pause to be doing that, but in a way that flows a little bit more naturally, doesn't feel so pressured or pushed. You know, it's still enjoyable and still fun. So where you stand right now, we have the Seven of Swords crossed by the Ten of Pentacles, with the Ten of Cups in your recent past, the Hierophant in your recent future, the Four of Pentacles at the top of your mind, and the Hermit in your subconscious. So you have the Seven of Swords where you stand right now. Seven of Swords is tricky energy. So if this Devil card for you is some sort of a negative thing, this is you trying to hide it or defend it, or you're up to some sneaky bullshit. Or this is you hiding from the world and not wanting to explain yourself, or as a Cancer, kind of like hiding in your shell and keeping to yourself and not sharing your feelings with people at all right now. Not letting people know, like, how all of this is all actually affecting you, you know. In your near past, the Ten of Cups, which is what you had as your theme. So it could be that you have the past on your mind, or it could be that and I see Ten of Pentacles crossing you. It's just strange to me. Either like you're bringing something like the past. This is near past. So there was some sort of like emotional happiness that you had. I think even in the last 6 months, actually, like, that is feeling uncertain. Partnership. It could be any kind of partnership. And right now you have the Ten of Pentacles crossing you, as I'm sure most of us in the world do right now, which is financial stability, right? You've got some financial stability questions that are preventing you from moving forward in some capacity, like keeping you feeling really stuck. And I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, as so many of us are there. I feel like all of us should probably have this as our crossing card right now, but obviously that means it's affecting you profoundly. And maybe with a Seven of Swords energy, I think that you're not even like communicating how much that's affecting you right now. You're trying to like keep it under control, keep it under wraps. And in your near future, though, the Hierophant. So I see this as you seeking guidance. In terms of like whatever issue is at the forefront of your mind and energy and emotions for the month of April, you will be going to some sort of master or professional in this field to help you deal with this, for advice, for guidance, for mentorship even, right? At the top of your mind is the Four of Pentacles, as you have the Ten of Pentacles crossing you. So the Four of Pentacles is that hoarding dragon in its cave, which also makes sense. I think there's another sign that had this also making a ton of sense with what's going on right now. You're really trying to save your resources. There's a lot of uncertainty right now, and you are definitely thinking about this a lot, obsessively maybe, and that could even be what this is about, like maybe worry. I didn't think about that. This could just be anxiety making you nuts. And if that's the case, that's probably affecting this, and that's why you need to meditate and chill the fuck out a little bit. Sorry. But like there's not much that you can do. Right now, like, because what's cool is what you have for what is going on in the world around you that you can't control is the Six of Wands, which is success, being the king of the mountain. So something is happening anyways that you're, by the end of the month, you're gonna still feel, you're gonna feel good and successful and secure in some aspect that maybe you aren't at the beginning of the month. And it's not going to be really because of anything you can do extra, honestly, right now, at least not significantly, anyways. Your advice is Knight of Swords. To me, that's a weird one to have for advice. The Knight of Swords, coming up with lots of ideas. Maybe that's like brainstorming ideas, bouncing those ideas off of a mentor. Don't shut yourself off to new ideas. That's what I'm getting. Don't shut yourself off to new ideas. Just keep rolling them out, brainstorming them, communicating them with enthusiasm, with a young, almost naive enthusiasm, and with energy. The reason why I say it's interesting, because the Knight of Swords sometimes is the one to say things harshly and quickly without thinking of the ramifications, especially when angry. So as long as you're not doing that, and I don't think the cards would ever advise that. I would still say be mindful of your words, but I do see this as like a brain dump, like all of these ideas that I could possibly do to like, and maybe that's a way to deal with any of your anxieties that you are having or issues that you're having. Like maybe you don't need to go and talk to anyone, or certainly not everybody, about the things that are concerning you. But even Knight of Swords honestly can be writing. So just write down, when you have an idea of a possible solution, it feels dumb even, write it down. You're worried about something, write it down, and then come back and say, here are all these things that I might be able to do sometime in the future about it. And then maybe allow the energy of the universe to flow and guide you to pick what is best and happen naturally. When I put this card down for your hopes and fears, I got immediately, this is Cancer's hopes and fears. So that's it's usually one or the other, and when I read them, for the most part, it's pretty clear. Seven of Cups, though, is about having a lot of options, right? It can also be, in this one, building a castle in the sky. So, I think part of your fear is all of these ideas of really like having to make a decision. You have options, or that your option, like you can see here, you have all of these options, these cups that you can choose from at your feet, and they're not even looking at like all of this that they have available to them. They're looking at for something that's totally out of their reach. And I mean, they're still planning on how to get there, but they're not even seeing like all of this that they already can have. And I think that there is a fear of missing out. Like there's a fear of missing opportunities, but also the hope that like you'll have this stretch, this castle in the sky still. So having big dreams and not seeing everything though that is actually available to you currently, that is good. The good that's available to you. We're running long. So last but not least, you got 2 cards for your final outcome. The Queen of Cups and the 8 of Cups. Some decent cup energy, I think, in here today. Yeah, as a water sign. 8 of Cups, you are finally moving away from something, and at the same time going deeper within for answers within and feeling more secure in that place that you are needing to move away from. Some really solid growth. And I think by doing that, like pulling your energy away from something, your emotional energy, you are now feeling by the end of the month really a lot more emotionally like awesome. I love this card, the Queen of Cups. I'm an air sign, and I love when I pull this card for myself. I'm not usually like a super emotional person, but like because emotions, right, can be messy and difficult. But the Queen of Cups is this energy of beautiful emotions and seemingly under control, like a woman that is very much aware of who she is and in touch with her feelings, but in a way knows how to communicate and give and receive beautifully, harmoniously, and feel fulfilled and have a joyful heart and have a purpose. Like I see this like finally like feeling like this beautiful, I have a purpose and I feel on top of the world type of energy. And it's very maternal too. It's like a very giving energy and a feeling of abundance. So if you're starting off this month of April of like anxiety and fear and worry about lack, at the end of the month I do see pulling away from some things that aren't really good for you and moving more into a space of trusting the universe and just knowing that what you need is there for you, and feeling an abundance, an exchange too. Like not just that it's coming to you, but that you're able to give and to help others too, which is a great feeling. Well, I hope you have a wonderful April, Cancer. Thank you so much for joining me for this slightly long video today. Hope this month treats you well, and I wish you so much health and wealth and happiness. Thank you.